William Wilberforce achieved some incredible things in the abolition of the slave trade and finally in the abolition of slavery itself. But he didn't work alone. And we only had a Wilberforce because of those others who invested their lives in him. People like John Newton, the former slave trader who wrote Amazing Grace, who encouraged him to stay in Parliament. People like George Whitefield and John Wesley, who had a profound influence on him in his life. And people like the famous poet of the Evangelical Revival, William Cowper, who wrote poetry to support his cause. But William Wilberforce was particularly helped by a group he was influential in setting up called the Clapham Sect. And this was a group of businessmen, of professionals, parliamentarians and pastors, people of learning and skill, who gathered together in a place called Clapham, which is a suburb of London just south of the River Thames. And they gathered around a church called the Clapham Church, for which the pastor was John Venn. And William Wilberforce, along with other friends like James Stephen and Lord Tynemouth, and others came together to do that. One of his best friends was a banker and economist, and he persuaded Wilberforce, who was very wealthy, to buy a whole lot of property so that these people could all live in close proximity. And so they were able to stir up and encourage one another literally to good works. And the whole group of them, the Clapham Sect as they became known, did a huge amount of work in political reform during the first half of the 19th century. So it wasn't just the slave trade. There was a huge amount of reform in other areas around child labour, providing proper public health facilities in the streets, launching and supporting World Mission and the establishment of mission societies and the Sunday school movement. These were all things that came out of the Clapham Sect and these professionals who worked together for the good of the country and for the glory of Christ.